Final dates were interesting. Sasha, that's feeling pretty deflated. And definitely in terms of budget, I mean, I don't know how much it costs to go up in a helicopter, but that did feel a bit more grandiose than some of the other dates that we saw. He's like, oh, you know, you do look good, the leather, I don't know, it's just very sexy, you know? And she's just like, okay, enough of that. He licks the spoon, like, and, you know, maybe he was just licking the ladle. I don't know, but it did not look like, you know, just licking the spoon. Okay, there's even a point on her face here. I CBA, bro, CBA. And look, I'm sat here as Mr. Cynic, being like, yeah, but you know, you can bring all the fat cat pictures you want, yeah, like, but there's plates being dashed at the wall. I don't know how easy that would be for me to forget. I love you, Paul. Oh, you are my heart. I need you more. Right round the start. Like, she's not asking for none of that. Welcome, people, thems. So, this is episode, I want to say is, do you know what, actually? Let me just double check and see. This is episode 31. The final dates were interesting because I think in the main, I think they were quite good, or at least the ideas of them were quite good. I think Nathan and Lacey's was probably the best one, but you got Luke and Amy. So when the episode starts, it's looking at Amy who's woken up and she's, you know, kind of reeling from the commitment ceremony and stuff, and she's like, still kind of up in the air about how I'm feeling. She's still kind of angry about the lies and stuff, but you know, she wrote stay, so she's willing to see how hard Luke's gonna work in order to try and, you know, move this forward. Luke's very much wanting to kind of see what he can do to kind of rectify some of the poor structures that he's allowed to happen within his relationship with Delilah as well. You've got Sasha that's feeling pretty deflated. She's like, you know, I did write stay, but I'm feeling pretty deflated. Ross is again very much like it's gonna be kind of like it's gonna be fine. Like, I mean, I'm gonna remind her about how amazing we can be. We're gonna have fun, but I'm still not really hearing like how that's gonna work. But he's going to make it back on track. Nathan and Lacey, they're feeling really loved up actually still, and I think they're very excited about their final dates and what's gonna happen. And then Polly and Adam, they're seeing quite good as well. You know, quite excited to go on their final dates and what Polly's booked and stuff. So yeah, they had quite a good commitment ceremony, I think. So I think they're kind of on the back of that. So, and again, I can't remember exactly which way it all went, but I remember Luke and Amy, he's basically planned a date which includes food because it's a love language. He knows how much Amy loves to cook and stuff. So he's like, it'd be really good for us to kind of do that together. So I planned that. He's like, you know, hopefully it's something that you will appreciate and that you'll enjoy. You can tell that she's still quite frosty about it, but I think she's still willing. I think that's the thing. Because she mentions, you know, how much she is attracted to him. So ideally she would like something to work with him, but she just does not know what's going to come out of his mouth next. So I think she's quite open. But they get to this cooking place anyway, and he starts explaining about his mum showing him how to cook and stuff before. I think she's quite open to being like, okay, this seems like a bit of thought's gone into this cooking class. I don't actually know what they're meant to be cooking, to be honest, but I think there's a bit of thought's gone into it. She's trying to get her hair up and stuff, and he's like, oh, you know, should I help you? Come behind you. And she's like, no, thank you. I don't want any part of that. Well, he's got a plan in his head that he's got her a gift that he wants to give her the rings. So he's actually got the rings back that they dashed across the restaurant. So at some point he wants to give her those. But yeah, I think it starts off and it's a bit tentative. I think she's still a bit snipey about stuff in general. But you know, it's kind of going okay. You've got Nathan and Lacey. So Nathan has decided that he's going to tell Lacey that he loves her, and he's kind of been, you know, gearing up to finding a special moment in which to do that. So he's booked a helicopter to take her, I guess, around the city and stuff. And you can see how excited she is. Like, you can see how excited she's about to do this whole helicopter thing. He's also excited too. And the kind of cracking jokes and whatever, and it just feels really, really romantic. Like, really, really romantic. I've never been in a helicopter, and I think I probably would pass out if I did. But you know, the idea of being up there in the sky and stuff, it seemed like really cool. And definitely in terms of budget, I mean, I don't know how much it costs to go up in a helicopter, but that did feel a bit more grandiose than some of the other dates that we saw. Then you've got Ross and Sasha. So Ross decides he's taking Sasha ice skating. He says that he can't ice skate, or she thinks he can't ice skate. She's not too sure she can, if she can. And they get there, and she's basically like, oh, she's all dressed up to the nines, and she hasn't brought any socks. But he's like, oh, it's fine. You know, we've got some like glammy parts coming afterwards, but this part is just like for fun and stuff. So they get in there, and he kind of does skank her a little bit. Like, she is obviously still like Bambi trying to hold on to the sides and stuff, and I guess he's just trying to get his feet. Like, I can't support you if I don't even know whether or not I can even do this. So I think that's probably his thinking, being like, oh, let me see if I can still do this or whatever. So he's off doing like Torval and Dean, while she's like, are you seriously leaving me right now? And she does genuinely look like she's fuming. I thought it was kind of bantering at first, but I think she's a little bit like, is this a date for me or for the both of us? Because you're off just doing your thing. And he eventually does come back, and they do then seem like having like a good time and stuff, and you know, they're kind of just guffawing, like, you know what I mean, like just falling around the place and stuff, and it does look like they're having a laugh. And he explains that he used to go ice skating with his dad, and I think that's kind of the reason why he thought this would be like a really cool thing to do, which is nice. And considering that she was like, you know, we need a bit of fun, it was nice to kind of see that she kind of did buy into it a little bit. And eventually, when they're laughing and whatever, like, it did seem like she was kind of bought into it at that point. Goes to Polly and Adam, and she's taking him off. Is it off roading? Is that what it's called? Like, with like the big jeeps and the dirt roads and that kind of stuff, with all the hickledy pickledy and all that. Like, I suppose I've never done it, so maybe it would be something I would enjoy if I tried it. But I was like, oh. Like, I guess it's nice to have an activity to do, and I guess it's nice to take out your comfort zone a little bit. Adam was like, oh, it's really cool seeing you driving and stuff, and she was like, yeah, this is exactly what I want, you know, 5 kids, dog in the boot, you know, me and you. And he's like, 5 kids? But it does seem like it's a bit of a vibe. They swap over. Adam's driving, and he makes some kind of joke. Like, it does seem like he's a funny guy. Do you know what I mean? And they're laughing together, and you know, things gone all over the place. And yeah, man, it does seem like it was a nice vibe, and they seem like they enjoyed it, which was really cool. Then it goes back to Luke and Amy. So they carried on their cooking. Amy, it does look really nice. She's got this like leather like mini dress thing on, and you know, he's like, oh, you know, you do look good. The leather, I don't know, it's very sexy, you know. And she's just like, okay, enough of that. And I think, you know, she's trying to make it quite clear that it's not about that. I think at one point he does go to kiss her, and she's like, whoa, 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 not today. And I did think, boy, you're Brighton, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, being in all kinds of doghouse. She wrote leave. The man's trying to, you know, land it on her, but I guess he's just trying to break the ice, I suppose. There's certain comments that he's making, which I do think actually are like, you know, innuendos. You know, we jiggle jiggle. We jiggle jiggle. He's got the yolks in his hand. He's like, we jiggle jiggle. Ooh, jiggle jiggle. And he says something else as well. I can't remember what else he says, but the one thing that definitely like was shown in the preview is he licks the spoon, like, and you know, maybe he was just licking the ladle. I don't know, but to me, I was like, this does look like some kind of like Channel 5 post 11 p.m. circa 2000 and 5. Like, do you know what I mean? Them kind of times, like, bro, it does not look like, you know, just licking the spoon. Okay, and with the whole big old, yeah, bro. Either way, she didn't appreciate it, and she's like, that's not cool. And he's like, oh, come on, Amy, man, like, come on, like. So I did kind of feel like he was trying to not be too serious about it, but you know, he was. I do think at that point she was like, I'm just not in that. She's like, it's just creeping me out. And I think again, and she did say, she's like, maybe if like I trusted him, like it wouldn't creep me out as much as it does. But anyway, then she's like, right, what we're gonna do now is, we are going to ask some questions. And she's like, now this is the most honest you need to ever be. Like, you know, there's a complete BS free zone, and I want you to answer these questions honestly. And you know, I'm gonna create the space in which you can. And he's like, right, cool, I got this. And she was like, okay. The first question was something like, oh, what do you think the worst thing about our relationship is? And I think he said something like the physical parts of it, where sometimes I can see you, and I just want to, like, I think he said the words, tip you upside down and show you, like, come up to you and grab you and tip you all upside down, like the best possible way, which I think she thought was far too sexual. So she was like, okay, that's enough of that. I think she asked him another question before. There were three questions she asked. I can't remember the second one, but the one that basically got her to get up from the table was her saying, okay, honestly, and like, I need you to answer this, like, honestly, how many relationships have you had previously? And he goes into full on mastermind mode. You know, Mastermind, the show on BBC Two, like, where you got the countdown, and he's doing all kinds of, like, arithmetic with the fingers. Carry the two, add the three, subtract the four, bring over the two. Like, he's going for ages in his finger counting, and she's just like, he told me he had never had a serious relationship. Then he said he kind of had maybe one or maybe two. What on earth is he still doing counting? Like, what is it? So he comes up with the figure, and he's like, 8? And she's like, 8? That's more than the 2 that you told me. And he's like, yeah, it's more than 2. And she's like, so she gets up and she walks out. And yeah, there's this sad shot then of him, like, with the ring box, and it's like, he never got to give her the rings and stuff. But it's also like, bro, like, you know, why lie about that? Do you know what I mean? Unless you've got, don't get me wrong, if you've made it quite clear from the beginning that you're really embarrassed about the number because it's in the hundreds or the thousands or whatever, then I can kind of understand. But you don't even indicated that, so why have you lied? Why have you lied, man? Like, honestly. And I think at that point, I would very much be like, I cannot be bothered. Because there's even a point on her face here where she had got up and she just, putting her skirt down and just sorted her hair out as she walked out, and it was literally like, I CBA, bro, CBA. So anyway, so then she walks out. Then goes back to Nathan and Lacey. They're up there in the sky and stuff. Remember, he's planning to say I love you. Man gets airsick. Is that what you call it? Airsick? And he gets seasick, helicopter sick. Basically, he starts to feel sick. So he's like, I can't even really talk. I'm sorry, I can't make a good conversation yet, but I feel sick. I shouldn't have had that sandwich. Like, and she's like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for you. Like, and he's basically trying to like soldier it out. And the pilot's like, oh, we've got 5 minutes before we're back on the ground. And he's like, yo, hurry up. Hurry up. So that's probably not the most romantic, I guess, space or time for him to be like, oh yeah, I love you. Then it goes back to Ross and Sasha, I think. And Ross, and they end up going to this really nice restaurant. It looks like it's just them there. And it was just them in the ice rink as well, to be fair. And she's like, shall we speak about the commitment ceremony? And basically they have it out. And she's like, I just really want to feel as though that those kind of arguments aren't going to happen and stuff. And, it did make me feel really, like, I don't know, just really angry, like, and stuff. I think she was very much still like, it's his fault. When she was going into this, she was like, it's his fault that we've got this problem. And I think she was still waiting for him to, I guess, pull out the stops to make her feel better. And I think he did. I think he did. He did a good job of reminding her about the fun that they can have, and like when they're good, they're good. Got her a gift which they were laughing about. So he got her like a locket, and it had her cats in Diego and Olive, I think they're called. And one of them was like the fat cat. And they were just laughing about how big how big the cat's head is and how it fills the locket. And, they were laughing from a really good space. And I think it reminded them both about how good it can be. And look, I'm sat here as Mr. Cynic, being like, yeah, but, you can bring all the fat cat pictures you want, yeah, like, but there's plates being dashed at the wall. I don't know how easy that would be for me to forget. It's not so much that I couldn't forgive it, because, like, you can forgive anybody if it's a sincere apology. But how can you be sure that that will be enough, that's not going to happen again? And I don't know whether I could be. And I think they're both still very much, like, not quite sure what's going to happen with the distance. So I think those elements to me, I don't know, would be enough for me to go, oh, I don't know. they very much love each other, and I think that's very, very clear. And they're very happy about the dates and stuff that they've gone on. So I guess we'll see what comes of that. But yeah, then it goes back to Nathan, Polly and Adam. So Polly and Adam, once they've finished all the off road driving, they then have this what looks like a really nice picnic. This kind of like very bohemian-y type of picnic and stuff. It looks really, really cool. And they give each other gifts. So he's got her a gift, and they're talking about how good the date's been and how good the final date's been, and particularly from where they've been to where they are now. And he has got her a gift. He's like, oh, what final date could be good without a gift? So she opens it, and it's basically a box of, and it's got like on it P and A, which I think was really cute. And then in the box, it's all these like memory tokens, I guess, like so things from like their honeymoon, like a wedding photo, like their name labels and stuff, like some really cool little sentimental things. And it's because she loves sentimental things why he's done that. So she's like over the moon with this box of memorabilia for their time spent together, and she's like, this is just 10 out of 10. It's amazing. Then she gets him an adoption paper, which I'm guessing is from her dog. And the dog's basically said that, I'm adopting you, Adam. And he's like, oh, that's mint, that is. That's really cool. And they have a little smooch about it. I kind of feel that her emotion was greater about her gift than his emotion about his. Because his gift was very much about the time they've spent. Her gift was about their future, which I thought was a very, very key difference there. Anyway, they then start talking, and they start talking about how it's some of the things that she still needs from him is the kind of affirmation about how he feels and stuff, and how he's not very, and he's like, I'm just not very good at talking about that. And she's like, that's just the thing that I do need though. She's like, I do need that. And he's like, well, I'm just never going to be any good at that. So she's like, how do you feel about me now? And he couldn't answer it. He's like, I don't know what to say. And she's like, okay. She's like, so how, in comparison to on the day you met me, how you feel about me now? What would you say the difference is, or what would you say your thoughts are about that, basically? And he still couldn't think of anything. And when he was hesitant, she was like, "Well, the hesitancy in itself is an answer." And he's like, this is the thing. Like, you keep wanting to probe me for these things and get these things out of me. He's like, but that's just not me. Then she's like, yeah, but those are the things that I need. And she's like, yeah, but that's not me. Like, you're trying to get me to do something I'm just not able to provide. And again, I felt really sorry for her in that moment, because it's like, she's not asking for much, dude. And just to say that this is just the way you are, well, the way you are has led you to where you are right now, where you're on a TV show where you're marrying a stranger. So it can't have been that great how you've been, because if you weren't slightly different, then maybe you'd be in a long-term relationship now. Obviously, that's not always the way. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to always say it's down to the person. That's the way they're not. But, you've got to start looking inwards, haven't you? I would be. But you can't just say, well, that's just the way I am, if you're not willing to change it. If you're not willing to change it and you want to stay the way you are, then cool. But then don't waste nobody's time, because what she's asking for is a very, very normal thing. Like, for you not to be able to say what it is you like about her now that maybe has grown from when you met her, it's basic, and it's a cop out. And she was right to call it out. So them having this argument, I don't think it needed to be an argument. I just don't think that Adam, from what I'm seeing anyway, he doesn't like to be challenged on what he thinks is already a job done. Job's are good, and you should be satisfied with that. And it's like, well, no, like I'm not saying I need the earth. She's not asking you to come out there and do some, Ed Sheeran busking like at London Piccadilly, talking about how much you love her. I love you, Paul. Oh, you are my heart. I need you more. Right round the start. Like, she's not asking for none of that. I just want you to let me know about how you feel about me. Like, and I don't believe for 1 second that he's never been in a relationship and he's never told them how he feels about them. Rubbish. How have you got to this age and no partner is expecting you to say anything about them that's nice, that confirms how you feel about them, that just you can just keep topping up the bathwater and that's enough? I've been watching Downton Abbey, yeah, and I guarantee you, the people that are topping up their baths and stuff does not guarantee that they're in love, like, at all. So you need to do a bit more. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, then goes back to Luke and Amy, and basically she's woken up the next day and she feels really bad that she stormed out. She's like, I feel bad that, I didn't stay. Like, he's put on this date, and I've asked him to be honest, and maybe I did overreact. Now, me personally, I don't think she overreacted. Like, whether it was right for her to walk, I mean, just imagine how exasperated you would be to find out yet another. Like, I've just spoken to you about how, like, I don't want any lies, and I guess maybe if you preface it to say, look, I probably have given you a false number previously, and the reasons for that are da. The real number is da. I think maybe that would have been positioned probably a little bit better, and she probably would have been a little bit more receptive of the inflated number, which was literally quadruple like what the actual number was. Bearing in mind that when she left, and the runner, whoever it was behind the camera, asked him, "So what is the real number?" He was like 15, just to cover myself. So again, double what you've just told her, bro. You are not helping yourself. And I think at that moment, that's when I was just like, I don't know, I don't know what more to say, Luke. I don't know what more. I don't know how much more I can back you, because, when this was Alex and stuff, yeah, I very much was like, nah, you're acting in a way that I feel is a bit of a letdown, really, to you, like, and how you would like to come across to people. Do you know what I mean? And I really feel as though that in this instance, Luke's the same. I feel like you've kind of let yourself down there, dude. And it was unnecessary. But anyway, she feels bad. She's talking about how bad she feels. So she then speaks to Luke, and she's like, I am sorry for walking out and stuff, even though I was annoyed about what you lied about again. She's like, but I do feel sorry that, again, I've created a space in which I've asked you to be honest, and you've been honest, and then I've walked out. Then he's like, and I feel really bad that, it ended the way that it did after everything, and it was going really well. I mean, I don't know how well it was going, but it was going. And he pulls out the present. He's like, look, I really wanted to give you this, and it's a symbol that, I'm really sorry that I took this off in the first place, if I'm honest, but I wanted to give it back to you to show that I am committed to us and committed to this, and it won't be coming off again. And what I thought was really interesting, which showed me that she does like him, is that she was like, you can't just be taking it off again. She's like, it's on, and it's not coming off again this time, yeah. And I think you'd only really look for reassurance in that regard if you really did like the person. And I think when there's, I don't know, when the relations have crossed over the physical boundary, I think it does, create a deeper connection. I think so. I think that was quite interesting to see that she was questioning him on that regard. But they put the rings back on each other's fingers and stuff, and it just seemed to be that things are a little bit warmer. She might still be a bit annoyed, but it just seemed a bit warmer. She does like a face mask for him, which I thought was really, really sweet. Do you know what I mean? It was really, really nice. And yeah, it just seems as though they're going on a bit more of an even keel, which seems cool. Then it goes back to Nathan and Lacey, and they're kind of sat in this kind of outside bit. I don't know where they are, but it looks like a garden, but it looks like almost like an outside conservatory almost. Anyway, all these candles and stuff, and then under the blanket, and in the coats and whatever. And they're talking about the day and how amazing the day was, and you can see that he's obviously working up to doing something, and just really cute to watch, because I actually smiled my whole way through this part, because you kind of forget there is if they are still in here, and they are probably the only couple who are loved up and care for each other. And yeah, I'm not saying, well, no, I'm sure the other couples do care for each other, sorry, but actually at the point where they can actually be in love, and it looks healthy, like a healthy love, no plates being smashed, no rings being dashed, not getting the bare minimum, actual healthy put up with your mum touching me up love. And he ends up saying to her, I love you to the moon. I love you to the moon and stars and back or something. And she's just like, oh my god, I can't believe that you love me. I can't believe you said that. Oh my god, oh, you won't talk about mothers. Ah, like she starts taking it back, and then she's also like, I love you too, obviously, and like it's just a really lovely like little moment, and it was really nice. And then he's like, oh, I got you a gift. It's a gift of a star, basically. Did she get him a gift as well? I can't remember that she got him a gift, but he basically got her a star called Lacey, and you know that in itself is amazing. I mean, there's part of me that's like it's actually incredible that people are actually buying things that just exist in space, but whatever. But it's no, it's a nice gesture, right? And she was taken aback by that, but it was what the thing actually said, and it was something like, you know, stars burn bright, but they're often lonely or something. But it's the light that shines off it that lets me know that I'm not alone, and you know, and you provide that light or something. Like there was some real lovely words. I didn't write them down, but it was something along the lines of that anyway. And I just thought that was really lovely. I don't know where that came with it, whether it's something he wrote himself, but either way, that really moved her. And she's like, you know, I'm the girl that gets blocked. I'm the girl that gets deleted, and you know, I've never had anyone do anything like this for me before. And I think, well, unless you are just one of the lucky ones, I think that's something that we can all relate to. Like, and in that moment, I just felt really, really happy for her, and really happy for him, because he'd said already that he was not going to just throw the word around unless he was ready to do so. It meant a lot to him. He wanted to do it with, I think, with a gesture as well. And you don't get much better than taking your girl up in a helicopter and then dancing outside amongst the stars and stuff. Like, it was just a really beautiful moment, that was. And it kind of reminds you that even though this show is full of like Asbo related rubbish, there are some really nice, beautiful moments in it too. So that was really cool. That's the end of the episode then. Then it looks at the next episode, which is the final one, which is there being like a bit of a reunion almost. It's got a girls and a guys night. And oh my gosh, so much happened on that one. Like, so much happened on that one. So yeah, so we'll do that in the next video. But yeah, again, I'd love to know what you guys thought of this one. And actually, I mean, I don't know, just was Amy right to feel as though that she had overreacted? Do we think she did? Do you think that Luke was wrong in trying to kind of like, you know, spice up the date a little bit? Do you think he did? Was that just normal chat? Polly and Adam, do we kind of see where he's coming from in that that's the best he can be and therefore that should be enough? Or not? Are we still rooting for Sasha and Ross? And yeah, what did you make of Nathan and Lacey? So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Please let me know. If you did enjoy this reaction, then do give me a like and subscribe. I'd be very, very, very grateful. And yeah, for now, I'll see you on the next one, which is literally in a few minutes.